Alright, so I'm going to break things down here. Before I do though, I must apologize to Compile Heart, Idea Factory, and Alchemy Mizuno. Alongside any other writer, I gave them a bad rap with one claim. One slightly justified track record, but one that was built on a skewed bias. I claimed that they could not write gray and gray morality worth a fuck. I was legitimately wrong on this one, and they deserve a fucking medal because people rarely prove me wrong. Too bad it takes entire corporations to take on just one man. Seriously, why the hell haven't you made me a final boss in Neptunia for fuck's sake? Random self-plugging aside, it actually works as an odd yet effective segue into one of this game's strengths, the storytelling overall. Neptunia Virtual Stars has this focus on monsters called Anti. Basically, our new stand-in for mob monsters and boss monsters in a virtual world filled with the main cast of V2. The roster is overall decent, but there are really only 8 playable characters. Noir, Neptune, Blanc, Bert, me, you, Lit, Vice. Yes, Vice, as in white, not V-I-C-E as in weakness, you mother... Never mind, I am not gonna get angry here, that's for the no section. And let me tell ya, Combat and Iffy toned down the discount Deadpool bullshit a huge amount, and thank mother effing Purple Heart for that. So Neptune is back to her more likable versions of wacky antics. She's back to being her fun, dorky self without compromising her meta integrity. The only time she derails the stories later on, but that will be addressed in the no video. As for why my self-plugging was a good segue, well, it is because a lot of the beginning of the story and a lot of the behavioral dialogue of one of the quote-unquote villains really hit too far, far too close to home.
お前らネプチューヌたちだろ。
すごーい。私の活躍って世界を超えて響き渡っているんだね。
おうおう、響き渡ってるぜ。不真面目でめんどくさがりだってな。面倒なことは理由をつけてすぐサボるんだろ。あと喋りが止まらなくてうるさいんだよな。
I'm taking this as a personal attack.
合ってるわ。合ってるじゃない。おおむね合ってますわね。ちょっとみんなまで。
そっちの黒からはボッチのノワールだな。は
あ？誰がボッチよ。
Thank you.
お前、ゆうべは眠れなかったんだってな。今日みんなに会うのが楽しみすぎて。
Aww, that's adorable.
違うわよ。ただちょっと夜更かししただけなんだから。
そっちのブランは小説を書いてるようだが、同時イベントに出ても書いてくれないんだってな。
This guy needs his own game.
ぶっ殺すぞてめえ。
I need this Anti to get his own game.
自分から認めているようなものですもの。
黄色い女神の方が多いな。このように評判は驚いているってわけだ。
Holy
評判
shit, man!
つうわけでお呼びじゃねえんだよ。
Holy fucking
蹴散らしてやるぜ。
Holy shit, that's awesome!
もう許さないからねえ、感じ悪いにも程があるわね。
Also, I love how the translators use fake news. Let's not ignore that
久
fact.
しぶりに光浸透ですわ。
You're angry because he burned the shit out of you! Holy fuck!
I'm not even joking either. There were several times where in the story cutscenes, antis of different forms and scenes just go straight out and flat out call them out with every single damn complaint I've had of the series in such a condensed form that even I felt a bit hurt by the sheer brutality on the rhetoric of the antis. I'm not even joking here. Not to mention the very concept of antis in the first place felt like a huge shot at their credit. However, I think their choices in how they approached meta this time far more effective than previous titles by a long shot. So So I'm willing to take one for the team on this because man, does it feel gratifying in a Tekken sort of way to hear my complaints voiced out, even if it's meant to despair. Another thing that really helps this game stand out and above the rest is one subtle nuance and change from the previous installment. This time, Neptunia Virtual Stars expands on Mark II's scene design. They employ fully moving 3D models, but with up-to-date graphics and proper motion animation. One major key detail. This time, you can actually get your own customizations put onto a cutscene. I literally created the horse nep joke as a result because I can do so. This is such a vast improvement despite seemingly being so minor. The reason being is the vast amount of customization options have been drastically expanded thanks to a certain beat-ticks.io. It would be one thing if you had just the base costume to use in the cutscenes, or if character customization were as limited as in the past. The seemingly minor change turns into a wildfire of diverse ways to expand your playthrough experience. You could, with certain kinds of costume changes, experience the same stories, but with a different entertainment value, depending on how you customize yourself. One thing I like about the Neptunia series is how they comment on the gaming and anime industry as a whole. Not through thoughtless Deadpoolism, but with subtle commentaries with things like monster concepts. OMG, am I so darn pleased with the monster designs in this game, excluding some basic boss. Ones later on down the line are pretty cool though. So we're gonna trap into spoiler territory, so either turn off the video now or skip ahead of the spoiler section. I'll probably do a quick hit of non-spoiler bit. The reason why I said I must apologize for saying those involves could not write great morality is a couple of examples. The dynamic of Hiro and Kato, as well as characters like CEO. Hiro and Kato come across as a weird, villainous bouquet and Tsukomi duo 90% of the time, and the humor that results from it is both organic and just plain amazing. Where the morality piece comes in is when the game does a full confrontation and defeats Kato. We start to find out that the seemingly one-note villain that she was instead a lost lamb trying to steal everyone's emotion and content, drinking yang time motherfuckers, adds energy to restore her planet. In other words, fallen angel, lost sheep with pure desire, twisted by a combination of mulling on the negative aspects for too long, and Hiro's subtle dynamic of prodding Kato on the inside before saying, well, I'm a head on out, and legitimately just nopes himself out of the story, which not only leaves Kato as a failure who failed to restore her planet, but also the one being who could comprehend her struggles, which ironically enough, once she's defeated and Hiro disappears, gets redemption. When everyone involved realized how much she loved her planet and did everything she could to try and fix it, she gets a redemption. A beautiful way of showing that even terrible people can once be people who were of honest intentions before. Not always the case, but the story dynamics shown create this concept of nuance that felt void of spin-offs and even canon games not named Super Neptunia RPG. Spoilers have mostly ended, time to move on. One thing that has vastly improved in my opinion is the level design. One is literally 3D Twitter. It's great. Another is a beautiful embodiment of the dark web, aka the 404 not found. All sorts of wonderful design, including one dungeon design that looks like the paint area from Death End Request series, but redesigned and recolored to be blue with gray edge. Also, the main monster Betty looks like it belongs right into Death End Request, with both its design and sound effect battle cry. What makes Neptunia Virtual Stars work is the fact that it goes from, what makes Neptunia Virtual Stars work is the fact that it goes back to form with commentary on games and anime to an extreme degree. Some may say a bit too much. The dungeon designs are arguably the best in the series as well. It feels far more diverse than previous iterations. The only dungeon designs that can really rival Neptunia Virtual Stars is For Goddesses Online, but I hate For Goddesses Online overall, so whatever. Unlike many other Neptunia designs, these designs have these wonderful things called themes. It is also far more intricate and woven into the storyline. The dungeons feel less slapped together last minute, such as V2, and it's like random CAD 3D grids of a dungeon, and are actually in tune, even compared to V2. Dungeons in games should always reflect the themes and stories of the narrative you're telling. Assuming you're not just a mechanics-only kind of game, of which those are the exception. Also, apparently someone in either Iffy's department or Compa's got really hurt by someone in Twitter, because there's a solid section where Twitter is heavily criticized. Oh, and that's another nice commentary aspect. Modern day relevance trend. It features everything revolving around quote-unquote otaku pop culture. Twitter, YouTube/Nico, the dark web, aka 404, not found, and so on. Also, fun factoid, Tanaka had nothing to do with designing the characters in this game. Oh, and a fun little tidbit in the character expressions in this game. This game has wonderful, tiny improvements in the overall quality of the game. A range of expressions are phenomenal. So much so that they're the best in the game series in that regard. The OST is not on V2's level, but it's a fun mix between some small rock, but mostly electronica, and they even weave in a wee bit of dubstep, but when it comes on I immediately head for the hills because I hate dubstep. I'll mention the lack of boss battle themes due to mechanics in the no section. These factors and many others are why I say yes, that it is the best Neptunia game and better than V2. However, for the sake of objectivity, I will be having a no section so that I can bring my views all the way home. Thank you for watching this video. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, click the bell and select all to be notified of my content, and follow me on Twitter at IamNor6. Thank you. I am on my way to the last God tier review for this series.
Slay on.